Hello and welcome to TheAIbumMan. So today I'm going to be beginning my top 50 favourite albums of 2016. So in this part we have a lot of albums to get through, so I have to go fairly briskly through them. So at number 50 we have Broken Lines by the Giraffe Tongue Orchestra. What a wonderfully named band. So if you don't know who they are a supergroup who consist of William DeVal of Alice in Chains, Brett Hines of Mastodon, Ben Weinman, the mastermind between the Dillinger Escape Plan, Thomas Bridgen of Mars Volta, and Pete Griffin of Zappa Plays Zappa and Def Clock. Now, this album, I have to admit, it was decent. I mean, it wasn't anything incredible. I'm not a huge fan of William DeVal's vocals, usually, and he was the primary singer on this record. It had its interesting parts, but at times it felt a little bit disjointed. There was maybe a bit of a lack of coherency at points. Number 49, All Bright Electric by Feeder. I loved Feeder when I was younger, and I still do, honestly. Silent Cry, Confident Sound are wonderful records, and their last album, Generation Freak Show, back in 2013, I thought was fantastic. And this continues that same trend with All Bright Electric. It's just catchy, sort of mid-2000s-esque rock, and it's just fun music. Number 48, The Last Hero by Alter Bridge. Now this is a band who once won Album of the Year, if you remember, back in 2014 with Fortress, but now they're only at number 48. I mean, they were great live, but this was an underwhelming record. It was decent, nothing amazing, nothing to write home about. And number 47, Sacred Blood, Divine Lies by Magnum. I've always loved Magnum, and their recent output has been really great. Escape from the Shadow Garden on the 13th Day, and of course back in 2008 the Moon King. But this album, while I did enjoy it, it was not my favourite of Magnum's last few records. It was more. This is more like The Visitation for me. I never thought that much of The Visitation. This record just has too slow of a pace for me on it, honestly. I mean, Bob Catley's vocals are on fine form, but there's just nothing I haven't really heard before on this record, and I feel that Magnum is starting to tread just the same old ground that bit too closely. And with Mark Stanway's departure now, I'm certainly worried for the future of the band. At number 46, The Bones of a Dying World by If These Trees Could Talk. They're a new band who I only recently discovered, and I don't have much to say other than it's just a really pretty instrumental post-rock album. Simple as. And number 45, The Invention of Knowledge by Anderson/Stolt. So this is the collab from Ronnie Stolt of the Flower Kings and John Anderson of Yes fame. Now, Ronnie Stolt kind of left a bit of a bitter taste in my mouth after seeing him live with the Flower Kings at a prog festival in Wales, because they were kind of bad live, I'm afraid to say, but they were. But I still like his work, the Flower Kings, and I really like his work, Transatlantic in particular. But with John Anderson on board of this record, I was like, okay, I've got to hear this. I love me a bit of John Anderson, and his vocals, I think, are just in terrific form on this record. I mean, really great form. At times, they seem to channel 70s Yes, which is wonderful. My problems with it are it gets a little bit too spiritual for my tastes in the lyric themes, which, you know, puts me off a tiny bit. And it's too long, certainly. It's a bit overdrawn, a bit overblown, drags on a tad. But on the whole, it's a really good prog record. And number 44, The Brotherhood of the Snake by Testament. Now, this is again one that unfortunately just pales a bit to its predecessor, but it's not really the album's fault. Dark Roots of the Earth is a modern thrash masterpiece, in my opinion, from 2012. I love it to death. I have a patch of it on my denim, and it's an album I come back to time and time again. So Brotherhood of the Snake, this was just a really strong, it was a strong, solid thrash album, but it didn't do anything as special, I felt, as Dark Roots of the Earth. It was just a good, solid Testament record. There's nothing wrong with that. At number 43, The Nocturnal Masquerade by Toothgrinder. I don't really know how to describe these guys. I mean, some say prog metal, and that seems kind of fair. But I would also say they maybe have a bit of sludge in it, but that kind of like Baronessy Mastodon sludge, more so than anything. and they mix sort of clean, shouted vocals, and it's just really in-your-face, heavy, fast stuff, but with some melody, certainly to it, with some cleaner parts. It's a really nice, varied record, and it provides, as a result, a really enjoyable listen. At number 42, we have Fallen Angels by Bob Dylan. Now, I loved the risk that Bob Dylan took with Shadows in the Night. That was rather high on my 2015 end-of-year list. And I thought it was utterly different from anything he'd really ever done, certainly stylistically. But this was just more of the same of the last record. It was just Shadows in the Night Part 2. It was more Sinatra songs done in the same style, recorded probably in the same session. Like, it's enjoyable, it's good. I didn't think it was as good as Shadows in the Night, and he's going to be releasing a triple album this year of these songs. I mean, at least more than just Sinatra ones this time. And here there was a couple that hadn't been recorded by Sinatra, Fallen Angels. But triplicate, I'm apprehensive for that. At number 41, we have The Skeleton Tree by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. Nick Cave was not an artist I'd ever really checked out before 2016, to be honest. But with his album Skeleton Tree, I had some good things about it and decided to take the plunge. And unfortunately, this album has a really tragic story to it. His son, he was only about 15, fell off a cliff while taking drugs. And, you know, that's such a difficult loss to deal with. So he tried to work through the grief with Skeleton Tree. This album, it is so sad, it's evocative, it's beautiful. I wouldn't say I'm the biggest fan of Nick Cave's style ever, just a personal taste, but this album is just, it really is a very good record. At number 40, Gore by Deftones. I've seen this top a lot of people's album of the year lists, but this was an album that took a while for me to get into. I mean, I like Deftones. I thought Koi no Yoken, whatever it's called, was really good. Diamond Eyes is probably my second favourite Deftones album. But I don't even know what it was with this that I found it hard to get into. I find it difficult to elucidate exactly what it was, but it just didn't click with me at the end of the day for a while. I mean, it has now, more so. It's not a Deftones record I still find myself going back to as much as others. It's a strong album and it has some wonderful tracks. The Pyramids one's particularly good, but I don't know with this one. And number 39, Post-Pop Depression by Iggy Pop and Josh Homme. I've only recently got into Iggy Pop, actually. And I kind of thought that nowadays he was a bit washed up. I mean, I'd seen him doing adverts on the telly and things, and he did a collaboration with this terrible rapper, and I was just like, what's happened to Iggy Pop? What has happened? Then he comes out with Post-Pop Depression, and Josh Homme really brings the best out of Iggy. It's one of those great examples where just a lease of new blood can really bring the best out of an old artist. This is the best I've had Iggy for years and years. A tremendous effort, really. At 38, we have Blues of Desperation by Joe Bonamassa. Hardly shock. Look, Joe releases consistently fantastic blues records, and the fact that the last couple have been featuring pretty much all original songs has been a really nice change. I've been pleased that he's doing that. It's something that I have vocally said for a long time that I wanted him to start doing. So yeah, this is awesome. It's Joe Bonamassa. He's the best person in modern blues. At number 37, we have Your Wilderness by The Pineapple Thief. The Pineapple Thief are the project of Bruce Seward, I can never say his name very well, who's certainly a known mixer and producer as well. He's done the recent remixes of Opus Damnation and Deliverance, and does a few remastering jobs just like Steven Wilson. But he's most famous, of course, for The Pineapple Thief, his British prog project. But calling them prog, it's mostly in a looser sense with a lot of their stuff. And I love his approach to songwriting. His voice is sublimely just delightful. It's angelic in nature with his heartfelt lyrics and his acoustic singer-songwriter stuff combined with this love of crescendos. It's wonderful. But I found the last album, Magnolia, in 2014, a little bit, it wasn't my fave. Compared to something like All the Wars, which was just, oh, wow. Phenomenal. But now with Gavin Harrison of Porcupine Tree on drums, oh wow, they have become the Porcupine Thief. and they are fantastic. He injects just so much life and energy into the record. Really strong album. And number 36, No One Deserves Happiness by The Body. This is a metal band from Portland, who I'd never even heard of before, but I love this. This is just an experimental metal record, which is just terrifying. It has this dualism between the male singer Chip with his shrieks and loud noisy riffs, and then you have the collaborator on the female side, Chrissy, with her beautiful vocals, giving these weird dynamics as you can go from serene to terrifying and harsh and austere and bare, and it's such a dismal, dissonant record. And number 35, Diamondhead's self-titled record. These legends have honestly made the best new album for a long-ass time. The current singer is fantastic, the riffs are just classic. This is Diamondhead at their best. I mean, I was really surprised by this. Most of the time when you get albums from the old new album bands, new albums, they tend to be a bit underwhelming. They just don't quite have it anymore. Diamondhead, they've still got it, and it's ridiculous how good this record. At number 34, Blue and Lonesome by the Rolling Stones. I honestly thought when this was announced it would end up on my disappointment list. But no, because I mean Bigger Bang was hardly an amazing record. But this ended up shocking me in terms of quality. They went back to their roots. This is pure blues. They're just playing all blues covers all the way through. And it's the best blues album of the year as a result. Mick Jagger is on fine form. His harmonica playing is on point, and his singing is some of the best I've ever heard him sing. It is incredible. Keith Richards and Ronnie Wood, I mean, they've got such a great blues band, behind Jagger. It's no shock, I guess, that they can make such a good blues record. And number 33, Rhea by Oathbreaker. This is Belgium kind of black metal mixed with shoegaze, with also kind of some hardcore elements, and the incredible voice of Caro Tang. She is what drives this. She is what makes them, from just being like another Death Heaven clone, to being a truly unique band. She reminds me a bit of the vocalist Julie Christmas, who collaborated with Cult of Luna, in terms of just her range and dynamics are unbelievable. She can sing beautiful cleans and then go into these harsh, vicious screams with ease. All round amazing vocalist. Great album. At number 32, we have Thea by Marillion. Recent Marillion has generally bored me to tears, but driven by politics and by angst, they return with what is a classic album. I did a review of this album with one of my 4 thoughts, but I really love this one. Number 31, You Want It Darker by Leonard Cohen. 2016, as we all know, was filled with a lot of death, a lot of celebrity and particularly musician death. But before Leonard Cohen passed, he gave us a final farewell gift. This album, You Want It Darker, which was him really coming to terms with his mortality and accepting it, accepting that he was not long for this world. It's a tragic, beautiful album. It's kind of, I mean, it's so dark, certainly, but there's almost an uplifting sense about it, in the way that he's okay with it. He doesn't mind. He's not trying to fight it anymore. He's found peace, and that was a message I think a lot of people needed in 2016. At number 30, we have Yawns Viking by Amon Amarth. I saw them live at Download, and they were wonderful. Well, they're one of metal's current tour de forces, stunning, and this concept record is maybe the best thing they've done. This is probably my favourite Amon Amarth record at this point. It's well-executed concept record, just about the life of a Viking. It's nothing super elaborate. It's no Lamb Lies Down Broadway. It's just a great Viking metal record. I don't like that term. Genre terms shouldn't be about lyrical themes. But Viking metal, whatever that is, this is the best example of it. At number 29, we have Stranger Heads Prevail by Thank You Scientist. How to describe this? I guess as weird jazzy prog, but weird jazzy prog with a Coheed and Cambria sense of melody and a simpler-ish vocalist, honestly. The vocalist is not a million miles away to the guy from so Claudio from Code and Cambria. It's sort of all over the place musically, super diverse and very catchy prog. Certainly Mars Volta fans, I think, should like this a lot, and same with Coheed and Cambria fans. It's more accessible than a lot of the other prog records this year. At number 28, we have Resonate by Glenn Hughes. This was not an album I expected to like so much. I mean, I love Black Country Communion, Glenn Hughes' more recent project, which is now coming back, and I'm so hyped for the 4th album. But this is strong, meanwhile. Glenn has got a really tight band together, and in terms of just a dose of 70s hard rock nostalgia in 2016, you're not going to find much better than Resonate by Glenn Hughes. And number 27, Free Trauma by Harakiri for the Sky. With Agalok gone out of our lives, I just have this great need for new atmospheric black metal, and while bands like Ghost Bath helped to satiate my need, I needed something else to fill the void, and luckily Harakiri for the Sky come in and do such a wonderful job. This is like a 17-minute long Agalok-like atmospheric black metal record. It's just wonderful. It creates such a dark, brooding atmosphere and does everything right. It's not maybe the world's most innovative record, but it's just so strong. It's so well executed. And number 26, finally for this part, we have Abysmal by the Black Dahlia Murder. This is straight up American melodic death metal. It's brutal, surprisingly catchy, and goddamn awesome. And that's all I have to say from number 50 to 26. This has been TheAIbumMan. Thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe, tune in to the next 2 parts, and long live rock and roll.